In our modern world, a peculiar notion has taken hold. It whispers a promise of effortless creation, a life of abundance conjured simply by the power of thought. We are told to repeat phrases, to pin pictures of our desires onto boards, and to simply wait for the universe to deliver. It is a seductive idea, isn't it? The belief that our minds, isolated and powerful, can bend reality to our will. This concept, often packaged as the law of attraction, suggests that by focusing on what we want, we send out a signal, a cosmic request that must be answered. It's a comforting narrative in a world that often feels chaotic and beyond our control, offering a simple formula for success and happiness. This modern mythology has spawned a vast industry. Shelves groan under the weight of books promising secrets to instant wealth. Seminars fill auditoriums with eager participants, ready to learn the art of manifestation. We see it everywhere, from brightly colored Instagram posts to affirmations printed on coffee mugs. The message is consistent and clear. Think positive thoughts, and you will attract positive outcomes. If your dream car is a sleek red sports car, you must visualize it, feel the leather of the seats, imagine the roar of the engine. Do this with enough conviction, we are told, and one day you will find the keys in your hand. It's a story as alluring as a siren's song. But here, on this planet teeming with life, where every creature from the smallest insect to the largest whale must strive and act to survive, this idea seems strangely out of place. It suggests a separation between ourselves and the physical world, a world governed by cause and effect, by action and reaction. For millions of years, survival has depended not on passive wishing, but on active doing. It has been about the hunt, the forage, the building of shelter, the nurturing of young. These are all physical, tangible acts that require effort, planning, and a deep engagement with the environment. Nature's law is one of action, not mere attraction. And so, we must ask a critical question. If this method is so powerful, why do so many find their vision boards gathering dust and their mantras echoing in an empty room? Why does the promised life of ease and abundance remain just out of reach for so many who follow the formula so diligently? Perhaps the secret is not to be found in these modern, simplified rituals. Perhaps the answer lies not in detaching from the world in meditative thought, but in understanding our deep, ancient connection to it. Perhaps we have been looking in the wrong place entirely, distracted by a beautiful but ultimately hollow promise. To understand this disconnect, we must travel back in time. Not just a few hundred years, but hundreds of thousands of years to the vast open savannas where our ancestors took their first upright steps. Here, the human brain was forged. It evolved not in a world of abstract desires and digital wish lists, but in a world of immediate physical challenges. Survival was a daily, visceral reality. The brain that we possess today, with its intricate network of neurons and its capacity for complex thought, is fundamentally the same brain that navigated that ancient landscape. It is a Stone Age brain living in a digital age. This ancient brain is not primarily a thinking machine. It is a survival machine. Its core functions are geared towards action and response. It is designed to interpret sensory information from the environment. The rustle in the grass that could signal a predator, the sight of ripe fruit that promises sustenance, the feeling of solid ground beneath one's feet. Every thought was intrinsically linked to a potential action. The thought "I am hungry" was not an abstract concept to be meditated upon. It was a direct command to the body to begin the search for food. The mind and body were not separate entities. They were a single, integrated system, working towards a common goal: staying alive. Now consider the environment we have built for ourselves. We live in climate-controlled homes, surrounded by comforts our ancestors could never have imagined. Our food comes from brightly lit supermarkets, not from a perilous hunt. Our dangers are often abstract and intangible: economic downturns, social pressures, digital anxieties. We have created a world that caters to our comfort but often starves our primal need for physical engagement and purposeful action. We have, in essence, placed our ancient action-oriented brains into a state of suspended animation, asking them to achieve goals through thought alone. This mismatch between our evolutionary wiring and our modern lifestyle is the root of the problem. When we sit and repeat a mantra, "I am wealthy," our ancient brain is confused. It receives the auditory signal, but it detects no corresponding physical evidence. There is no successful hunt, no discovery of a new resource, no tangible asset being built or acquired. The brain registers a conflict between the stated desire and the physical reality. It's like telling a skilled hunter to sit still in the cave and simply wish for the mammoth to appear. The hunter's every instinct, every sinew, every neural pathway screams for action. The law of attraction, as it is popularly understood, posits that like attracts like. Positive thoughts are said to attract positive experiences, and negative thoughts, negative ones. It presents the universe as a sort of cosmic catalog from which we can order our desires. This idea has a certain appeal because it contains a kernel of truth. Our mindset, of course, influences our perception and our behavior. A person with an optimistic outlook may be more likely to spot opportunities and persevere through challenges than someone with a pessimistic view. This is not cosmic magic, it is simple psychology. An optimistic person might try and therefore might succeed. However, the popular version of this law oversimplifies this process to a dangerous degree. It removes the most crucial element from the equation: action. It suggests that the thought itself is the cause and the desired outcome is the direct effect, with no necessary steps in between. This is where the logic breaks down. The universe, as far as we can observe, does not operate on wishes. It operates on the laws of physics, on cause and effect, on energy and matter interacting in predictable ways. A lion does not attract a gazelle by thinking positively about it. It attracts the gazelle by stalking it, chasing it, and physically capturing it. The danger in this philosophy lies in its potential to foster passivity and self-blame. When the desired outcome fails to materialize, the follower is often led to believe that their thoughts were not positive enough, that their faith was not strong enough, or that they harbor some hidden subconscious block. This can create a vicious cycle of self-recrimination. Instead of examining their strategy and taking different actions, they are encouraged to retreat further into their own minds, trying ever harder to purify their thoughts. This is a recipe not for success, but for frustration and a diminished sense of self-efficacy. Furthermore, this way of thinking ignores the immense complexity and randomness of the world. Life is not a simple transaction. It is a dynamic interplay of our actions, the actions of others, environmental factors, and sheer chance. To believe that we can control all of these variables with thought alone is a form of magical thinking. It is a retreat from the beautiful, messy, and often unpredictable reality of existence. A farmer may have the most positive mindset in the world, but if there is a drought, the crops will fail. True success lies not in trying to control the weather with our minds, but in building irrigation systems. The vision board is the quintessential tool of the modern manifestation movement. It is a collage of images and words representing one's goals and dreams. A picture of a grand house, a photo of a happy couple, the logo of a desired employer. The theory is that by keeping these images in our daily view, we program our subconscious mind to move towards them. It seems logical, a way to maintain focus and motivation. And indeed, for a short time, creating a vision board can be an inspiring and clarifying exercise. It forces us to articulate what it is we truly want from life, which is a valuable first step. However, research in psychology has revealed a curious and counterintuitive effect. Studies have shown that visualizing the successful outcome of a goal can actually decrease our motivation to achieve it. When we spend time vividly imagining ourselves already in possession of our desire, crossing the finish line of the marathon, holding the best-selling book with our name on it, our brain can be tricked into feeling that we have already accomplished the goal. It experiences a premature sense of satisfaction and completion. This mental satisfaction can then reduce the energy and drive needed to do the hard work required to make the goal a reality. The vision board can, therefore, become a pretty prison. It is a colorful cage of daydreams that keeps us pacified and inactive. We look at the picture of the beach and feel a flicker of the relaxation we crave, which then makes it easier to tolerate the stressful job we are trying to escape. The image becomes a substitute for the reality, a pleasant distraction rather than a catalyst for change. The board, intended to be a map to the future, becomes a comfortable resting stop in the present. We are lulled by the fantasy, and the urgency to act fades away. The key difference lies in visualizing the outcome versus visualizing the process. Imagining yourself lounging on the beach is a passive fantasy. Imagining the specific steps you need to take to get there, saving the money, researching destinations, booking the flight, packing your bags, is an active plan. The first lulls the brain into contentment. The second primes the brain for action. Our ancient brain is not stirred by a static image of a result. It is activated by a dynamic mental rehearsal of the process, the journey, the hunt. The vision board often encourages the former, leaving us wonderfully inspired but ultimately immobile. Mantras, the repetitive chanting of positive affirmations, are another cornerstone of this modern philosophy. We're encouraged to repeat phrases like, "I am successful," "I am abundant," or "I am worthy." The idea basically is that by repeating these statements, we can overwrite negative self-talk and reprogram our beliefs. On the surface, this seems like a positive psychological practice. After all, challenging negative thought patterns is a key component of many effective therapies. And honestly, the practice of repeating a calming phrase can definitely have a soothing, meditative effect, lowering stress and creating a momentary sense of peace, which is not without its own value. But here's where the problem comes in. When these mantras are used as a tool for manifestation, as a substitute for action. Repeating, "I am a successful writer," 100 times a day doesn't put a single word on the page. Chanting, "I am a skilled musician," doesn't move your fingers across the strings of a guitar. The mantra becomes an echo chamber, a closed loop of self-talk that's disconnected from external reality. The brain hears the words, but the body experiences no corresponding activity. This creates a state of cognitive dissonance, a conflict between belief and experience that can be deeply unsettling over time. Furthermore, for folks with low self-esteem, positive affirmations can sometimes have a paradoxical negative effect. When a person who feels, deep down, that they're a failure forces themselves to repeat, "I am a success," their mind can actively rebel. An internal voice might immediately counter with all the evidence to the contrary, reinforcing the very negative beliefs the mantra is supposed to overcome. It's kind of like trying to paint over a damp wall. The fresh paint might look good for a moment, but the underlying problem will soon bubble to the surface. It can feel inauthentic and jarring, leading to more frustration rather than genuine change. True self-belief isn't built on hollow words. It's forged in the fires of experience. Confidence comes from competence. We feel successful after we've actually completed a challenging task. We feel worthy after we've acted in a way that aligns with our values. The belief follows the action. The action doesn't magically spring from the belief. A mantra can be a starting point, sure, a reminder of the direction you want to go. But it's like a signpost pointing down a road. The signpost itself won't take you to your destination. You have to walk the road. The ancient secret lies not in the telling, but in the walking. So, if vision boards can create passivity and mantras can become empty echoes, where does the real power lie? The secret is ancient, simple, and deeply embedded in our biology. It is a concept that modern science is beginning to rediscover, known as embodied cognition. This is the understanding that our mind is not an abstract computer floating in our skull, but is deeply and inextricably linked with our body and the physical environment. We do not just think with our brains, we think with our entire being. Our posture, our movements, our physical actions profoundly shape our thoughts and emotions. This is the wisdom our ancestors knew instinctively. They did not separate thinking from doing. Learning to knap flint was not an intellectual exercise read from a book. It was a physical process of trial and error, the feeling of the stone in the hand, the angle of the strike, the feedback of a successful flake shearing away. A successful hunt was not just a plan conceived in the mind, it was the crouch, the stalk, the sprint, the throw. The body's knowledge was paramount. The mind and body worked in a seamless, dynamic loop. An action informed a thought, which in turn guided the next action. Modern science provides compelling evidence for this ancient truth. Experiments have shown that our physical state can alter our thinking. For instance, people who are made to hold a pencil between their teeth, forcing a smile, tend to rate cartoons as funnier. Individuals who adopt an expansive, powerful posture, a power pose, for just a few minutes not only report feeling more powerful, but also show hormonal changes associated with confidence and risk-taking. Our bodies are not just vehicles for our brains. They are active participants in the process of thought and feeling. This is the secret that has been lost. We have become a culture of talking heads, believing that change begins and ends with the abstract thoughts inside our skulls. We have forgotten the wisdom of the body. We believe we must first feel confident to act confidently or feel motivated to take action. But the ancient way, the embodied way, reverses this. It understands that action is the cause, not the effect. You do not wait to feel confident to speak up in a meeting. You adopt a confident posture and speak up, and the feeling of confidence follows. The secret is not to think your way into a new reality, but to act your way into a new way of thinking. This ancient principle can be distilled into a simple, powerful strategy: act as if. This is not the same as fake it till you make it, which can imply a sense of deception or inauthenticity. Acting as if is a deliberate physical embodiment of the person you wish to become. It is a form of active physical rehearsal. If you want to be a more confident person, you don't just tell yourself you are confident. You ask, what would a confident person do in this situation? And then you do that. You stand taller, you make eye contact, you speak with a clearer, more measured voice. You physically perform the role. This is not about pretending to be something you are not. It is about stepping into the potential of who you could be. It is an act of faith, not in a magical universe, but in your own capacity for growth and adaptation. When you act as if, you are sending a powerful signal back to your own brain. Your ancient, action-oriented brain sees the physical evidence. It registers the upright posture, the steady gaze, the calm breathing. It thinks this is the body language of someone who is in control, someone who is safe and capable. In response, it begins to release the neurochemicals associated with confidence and calm. Consider the aspiring artist. Instead of creating a vision board of sold-out gallery shows, the artist who acts as if engages in the daily rituals of a professional artist. They set up a dedicated studio space, even if it's just a corner of a room. They commit to a schedule, painting or sculpting for a set number of hours each day, regardless of inspiration. They dress for the part, changing out of their pajamas and into work clothes. They refer to themselves as an artist when people ask what they do. They are physically embodying the identity, and through this daily ritualized action, the skills develop, the work gets created, and the identity becomes real. This principle works because it aligns perfectly with how our brains are wired to learn. We learn by doing. A child does not learn to walk by visualizing walking. They learn by stumbling, falling, and getting up again. Each physical attempt strengthens the neural pathways required for balance and coordination. In the same way, each time we act as if, we are strengthening the neural pathways of our desired identity. We are not waiting for a feeling to descend upon us from on high. We are actively carving new channels in our brain through the chisel of deliberate physical action. The feeling is the reward for the action, not the prerequisite for it. Our ancestors understood this power of embodied ritual instinctively. Before a great hunt, they would not simply sit and wish for a successful outcome. They would dance. They would paint their bodies. They would reenact the hunt in a powerful physical ceremony. In the flickering firelight of the cave, they would become the hunter, stalking an imaginary beast. They would become the beast itself, feeling its power and its fear. This was not mere superstition. This was a sophisticated form of embodied psychological preparation. It was a full-body mental rehearsal for the challenge ahead. This ritual dance served multiple purposes. On a physical level, it primed the hunters' bodies for action. It warmed their muscles, quickened their reflexes, and synchronized their movements as a team. It was a form of training, embedding the necessary actions deep into their muscle memory. When the real hunt began, their bodies would know what to do without conscious thought. The dance transformed a group of individuals into a single, coordinated hunting unit. It was a physical manifestation of their shared intention, far more powerful than any spoken affirmation. On a psychological level, the ritual was a powerful tool for overcoming fear. The hunt was a dangerous undertaking, filled with uncertainty and risk. By acting out a successful hunt in the safety of the cave, they were programming their minds for success. They were not just visualizing an outcome, they were physically experiencing a simulated victory. This built a sense of collective efficacy and courage. It transformed their fear into focused aggression and determination. They were acting as if they had already succeeded, and this embodiment gave them the psychological edge they needed to face the real dangers ahead. This is the ancient secret in its purest form. It is the use of structured physical action, a ritual, to shape the mind and prepare for reality. It is the polar opposite of the passive wishing encouraged by modern manifestation fads. The hunter's dance did not magically attract the mammoth. It created hunters who were physically and psychologically prepared to go out and successfully hunt the mammoth. The power was not in an appeal to the cosmos. The power was in the embodiment of the act itself. The ritual was the bridge between intention and reality, a bridge built of muscle, bone, and deliberate action. The world has changed, but our fundamental biology has not. We may no longer hunt mammoths on the open plain, but we face our own modern-day challenges: starting a business, running a marathon, raising a family, creating a work of art. The principles of the hunter's dance are as relevant today as they were 50,000 years ago. We must stop trying to think our way to success and start reclaiming the ancient embodied wisdom that is our birthright. We must move beyond the passive vision board and the hollow mantra and create our own modern rituals of action. So, what does this look like in our lives today? It means shifting our focus from the outcome to the process. Instead of pinning a picture of a diploma on your wall, create a ritual around the act of studying. Designate a specific time and place. Before you begin, take a moment to stand in a posture of focus and confidence. Lay out your books and materials in an organized way. Perform the physical actions of a successful student. This ritual primes your brain for learning far more effectively than a static image of the goal. The act of studying becomes the focus, and the diploma becomes the natural consequence. If you want to be healthier, don't just repeat, "I am healthy." Create a ritual. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. This is a physical commitment to the next day's action. When you wake up, the first thing you do is put them on. This is the acting as if principle in motion. You are physically embodying the identity of someone who exercises. The action of putting on the clothes makes the subsequent action, the workout, infinitely more likely. You are creating a chain of physical actions that leads you inevitably towards your goal, building momentum with each small deliberate step. This is the path to genuine lasting change. It is less glamorous than the promise of instant manifestation, but it is infinitely more powerful because it is real. It is grounded in the truth of who we are, creatures of action, whose minds are shaped by what we do. The secret is not to ask the universe to give you what you want. The secret is to embody the person who already has it, to perform the rituals and take the actions that this person would take. By doing so, you do not attract your desired reality. You build it, step by deliberate step, with your own two hands. You become the creator of your world, not through magic, but through the primal, powerful, and ancient art of action.